Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again to the NORL F1 2017 Championship. For the final time this season, it is Abu Dhabi. The driver's title has been decided last time out. If you missed that, it was xxkillshotzxx who took the title in Brazil. But there are still many driver battles to be discussed over the circuit. We have the battle for 3rd, 4th and 5th still raging on. The battle for 6th and 7th and 8th is currently ongoing. Throw in 9th in there too. You have pretty much everywhere from 10th down to 14th and 15th, 16th, 17th. Pretty much every battle is still going on for position other than number 1. So although the championship has been decided, things are going again. I'm joined again, once again, by NORL founder Valerio Campagnari. Welcome to the box for another afternoon, Val.
Hi, Toby. Hello, everyone. Yeah, final race of the season, always a special moment. You know, we have been racing for 20 weeks. Started, I believe, on the 25th of September, so that's 5 months precisely today. And yeah, those drivers has been through so many different scenarios, so many different races and so many different tests. And the last race of the season is always a special moment. And as you said, still many championship positions to be decided. And even if the championship has been decided already in terms of P1, with KB winning the championship in Brazil last Sunday, I'm sure those drivers are gonna be flat out today to have some fun. Final race of the season, as I said, so we're gonna see some good action, I'm pretty sure.
So we're joined in the box there by a driver who's currently going to be competing in the race, but has opted not to take qualifying. I'm going to give us a little bit of insight into these qualifying sessions so we can figure out what exactly is the plan for these 12 minutes throughout these sessions. So we've got Nibbler331 with us in the chat today. Hello Nibbler, how are you doing today?
I'm pretty good this morning in Australia, of course, but yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
So just walk us through when you come usually. Sorry Val, I'll let you go on that one actually.
No, I'm just gonna say that it's great to have Nibbler in the chat tonight before he actually takes to the track for the race. Quite a different scenario for us, being joined by an actual driver. Of course, I've been racing for so many races this season, but yeah, once I move to commentary, I never get into the races again. And it could be interesting for us as well, because Nib could provide us with yeah, you know, at least some weather forecast, although it should be a dry race in the desert tonight.
So, and I can confirm I will be racing, because it's not going to rain.
That's good to hear from Nibbler. So just quickly, Nib, walk us through in this session, what's usually the plan? Is it just a case of loading the setup and trying to get as many laps nailed together, or do you prefer to do it one lap after another, or prefer to go back in the pits between laps? How does the session usually go for you?
Usually just load up the setup as quickly as I can, and then just do one run on each set of tyres. Unless I make a mistake on that one, I'll go for another lap.
So the qualifying session is literally track dependent. Obviously, qualifying not as important here as it is at, say, some other tracks we've been to recently. xxkillshotzxx sitting on provisional pole there, currently exactly a second ahead of Norfolk Blue, looking to be moving along. Just pointing our attention to the live chat, we have Kevin Jacobs in there saying he wished he could be at the race and says hello to everyone. Shame we don't have Kevin Jacobs racing with us today, but he is at other commitments, so he will probably join us again for next season or the historic season, but will not be competing in the final. So just throwing to Nib again, going into turn 1, you're going to be going out for the final time. Is it a case of letting your hair down and just having a little bit of fun today? Because of course, you are still in a battle for championship position. You're still fighting in the 10th to... need to just find it. Oh, yeah, still fighting with 10th, 11th, 12th, and so on and so forth. So are you still going to be a little bit careful today, or is it just a case of having as much fun as you can for one last time?
With my pretty rubbish pace, I'll be trying to have as much fun as I possibly can today. And I'd just like to mention that Blizzard just went second, about 3/10 off KB.
Yeah, very close at the front between Blizzard again. Of course, he's Blizzard battling with Callum J. Spencer for that spot for 6th place. I think that's the best he can achieve today is securing that 6th place from Callum J. Spencer, who's dropped off a little bit of form. We've been hearing a few things, Val, we'll point that to you, a few things that we might be losing a few drivers to other series at the end of this series. You know, people starting to grow their wings, fly the nest, explore different avenues and stuff. How is it when you see drivers coming and going from your series?
Well, you know, I've known many of these drivers for so many years. Ragnar is one of them. We have been racing together since the very first few days when I started racing. Actually, I mean, I've been there since the very first season in 2010. Of course, he joined in 2012 when he won the championship. So, but yeah, talking of drivers, as you mentioned, like Callum is gonna move to PC for better sim racing, etc. It's, you know, it's kind of sad because those drivers are great friends and I've been knowing them for so many years, but that's life, you know. You got people joining, you got people leaving, and of course we always try to fill the vacancies that open up with the best drivers possible, and this is gonna be the case for next year as well, as it has been the case in past seasons. We're gonna run pre-season tests before the 2018 season starts, and so we're gonna try to have the best possible driver lineup for when we start next season in Australia for 2018.
Of course, this is the last race we're going to have the pleasure of on this game without a halo, so we've got to take the most advantage as we can for that one. Oh, big crash for Galactic Skull 2. He's just had a huge crash, and I'm very surprised he hasn't DNF, but the way he's just doing donuts, I don't think his quali session has gone the way he wants it to. So that is
entertaining for the crowd.
It's practicing a little bit for after the final lap. So we got 3 more minutes of Nibbler's company. So anything you'd like to throw out there, Nibbler, or give commentating a little go for the rest of the session? The mic's all yours.
I'd definitely say that one thing to look out for is the good old alternate strategy this race. The one stop is definitely achievable. It is a bit of a stretch going from super softs to ultra softs though, but definitely look out for the Chazza with the beautiful alternate strategy that he always manages to pull off. As we'll now go on board, who shall we? We'll go on board KB, just going on his outlap. Quick little mention, Cliffy's going out on the super soft tyres for his final run, so that'll be interesting to see whereabouts he can get.
Yeah, Cliffy going out on the super soft tyres. He's only completed a single lap so far, and I believe the end of that lap was coming into the pits as well. So his lap, he hasn't set a provisional banker lap yet, so I'm still yet to see Cliffy's pace. And obviously he thinks, oh, I mean, with the time he's got left, he's got to do a representative lap on them super softs, or he's just got no time to get back to the pits and go out again. Blizzard's going out for another lap. We have Norfolk out on another lap as well, going to try and improve on that one. Ragnar out on a lap, as is Cliffy on his out lap. The rest of the guys in the pits, and I think they're running out of time to get back on circuit. It's about a 1 minute 40 for your out lap, considering you got all the pit lane to navigate and things as well. But people are getting ready for the final runs of the day, Val, and it looks like it could be another KB Killer Zone pole position, but of course we've got Blizzard out there looking to take it away from him again.
Yeah, you know, the guys have got nothing to lose. He won the championship last Sunday in Brazil, so he can go flat out. Nothing to lose, as I said. Is gonna give it all just to have fun one more time this season. Yeah, you mentioned last time we see those cars without the halo, and so yeah, we're just gonna savor all the action we can on the track. And I'm sure the drivers are gonna do the very same. And yeah, I'm gonna follow closely the start from our Red Bull drivers, Nibbler, because you know he's gonna have good company at the back of the grid, like David, probably Ragnar, all aggressive drivers. We do not have KLC on the grid, so probably things are gonna be a less chaotic maybe at the start.
That's a very aggressive driver.
No beef in the commentary room. You gotta remain professional.
So he was aggressive.
So KLC Adding himself quite the reputation in this league already, for all the wrong reasons, isn't competing either today. Flicking back into a live chat with Kevin Jacobs once again saying he has an announcement for after the race. KB 3 tests up on his time, and that's impressive. We'll keep an eye on him coming around the final corner. What is he going to be able to do across the line? And wow, what a time from KB Killzone. 8 temps clear of Blizzard. We have Cliffy in Sector 3 as well. We have yellow flags. I think that's just a KB Killzone retiring. They're transferring to there. How is Blizzard getting along? Where's Blizzard on the circuit? We'll have to keep an eye on him and see what his sector time will be. Will it give us an update? So he's very close. So, here, Cliffy is coming up to the underneath the glowing lights of the beautiful Abu Dhabi building. Let's see how close he can get. He could easily be the highest starting super soft driver today, which could really give him an opportunity to go at it with the ultra soft drivers. He's coming into the final sector now. We'll keep our eyes on Cliffy, because this could be quite detrimental for the race. So, coming up to the final corner is Cliffy in the Williams for one last time. Around the final corner he'd come. Where will he put that super soft fitted Williams? He's going to put it P3, and that's a pretty respectable time for the super softs, and he's going to be mixing it with the top 2 today. We'll keep our eye on Blizzard, as he's going to be the next driver of interest to get to the end of the line, and we'll see, can he snatch that pole position away? The 2 Ferraris running in tandem, but it looked like Norfolk backed off his first attempt of a lap, so all the pressure on Norfolk to get this lap absolutely spot on in the final sector. He's trying to trail Blizzard and maybe pick up a few of his racing lines. Coming into the final corner, Blizzard goes a little bit wide, but manages to get it to the apex, and oh, he's not improved as he's decided to definitely abandon that. But Norfolk Blue snatches P3 away from Cliffy, and it's ultra soft 1, 2, 3. Chazza, yeah, we've got to keep our eye on Chazza, because he could be quite detrimental. He's swapped back to the super soft. Yeah, he's set lots of cars off in the final corner. Luckily, he doesn't have to slow down. And P6 for Chazza, the man who came so close to winning the championship but just did not. And there you go, there's your grid. You can see that on your screen, but I'm going to take this time to thank Nibbler for his insights into the race today, and we wish you the best of luck, Nib.
Thank you, it's been a pleasure to be in the box, and also watch out, because it is quite hard to overtake you. So, hopefully no loss of breath for you this race. So we're hoping,
race,
give us something to shout about, and we'll see you again next time.
I'll try. Alright, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So that was Nibbler331 in the box for us for qualifying this weekend. He's going to go hop back into his own party and get ready for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, Val. We're going to get ready for the final time this season, and it's always an emotional time to see another one of your seasons come to a close, another successful season.
Yeah, it has been definitely a successful season. As I mentioned before, probably the most thrilling one, the most closely forward at the front, definitely. We had so many drivers winning races, so many changing the lead of the championship. Quick word to highlight KB's pole position, quite a dominant time, so congrats to him. He definitely want to round off this season in style, and but yeah, congrats to Nib as well, because the way he could be in the commentary booth with us and then be focused for the race, you know, going back into the car, being focused 100% to start a race is quite remarkable. I'm not sure I could do the same. So, but yeah, it's gonna be an interesting race. And finally a dry one, so it's going to be a bit easier for us to understand what's going on the track.
So we are getting ready for the warm-up lap for the final time this season, and before the guys take a break and get ready to do it all again, Ragnar almost hits Blizzard immediately. One thing to point, it was a dominant lap time, you're right, from Blizzard, but however, at the same time, Blizzard was, as Nibbler pointed out before he left, only a 10th down when he came into the final sector. He's obviously messed up the final sector and abandoned that lap. But I think Blizzard definitely has the pace to match KB today. Just got the lap wrong. Norfolk, honourable mention up in P3, could be his last race in this series before he decides to move on. So we wish Norfolk the best of luck and maybe a final podium in NORL for the Australian Cliffy, looking to get some experience to go hammer and tong with KB Killzone for next season. Looking to buckle up, and Maverick will start P5. P6, he's the man who almost won the championship, but came so close but so far in. Chazza really showed signs of improvement from F1 2016, so he's really done well to be in that title fight this time around. Newcomer Ollie Flavel will line up in P7 in the Force India, showing a little bit of flashes of brilliance earlier this season from when he joined, but doesn't seem to have the pace to the other guys at the front around here. Anil Tanovic, loyal, faithful man who's been with us for a long time, will line up in P8 ahead of Ragnar, who's currently miles ahead of anybody on the warm-out lap, maybe enjoying what it's like to be up in first place for a change, as it's been a little while for poor Ragnar. P10, we'll see another man that we believe may be leaving the series at the end of this season, Callum Spencer. We hope he has a good final race if he decides to leave. Galactic Skull 2 in P11, a man who recently won his first ever NORL race in the NORL Formula C series on Project Cars, so congratulations to him, and maybe he can try bring some of that talent over into the F1 game. Daffyd will line up in P12, the Welshman, who's been known for his very aggressive and attacking defending, but fair, all is fair in love and war, and hasn't received any complaints about it, so I expect he'll keep going the same. And lining up in last and 13th place, a low turnout today, but 13th and last is the man who we just had in the comms booth, Nibbler 331, who chose not to qualify. Val, there is your grid as we get ready to line up for one last time.
Lovely look through the whole field, and yeah, as you mentioned, Blizzard is really fast, came really close to beat KB's time, and Norfolk is another driver who is really fast, driving with no assists, and Cliffy as well has won races this season, Chata as well, Maverick as well. So the top six, it's anyone's game, you know. They can all win this race, so it's gonna be thrilling.
This is an absolutely beautiful camera angle we're seeing of the cars lining up, and such a fitting image to the final season. But here we go then, for the final time in NOR F1 2017. It's lights out and away we go. Who's got the best start? And it looks like xxkillshotzxx actually managed to start very well and has got a pretty good car, pretty much a free white start in the background. Look at that, Cliffy getting one up the inside of Norfolk Blue almost immediately. That's going to allow Maverick to have a little look and try and get involved in this battle, trying to go around the Australian. Not going to happen on this occasion. xxkillshotzxx gets away well, and it looks like Maverick is going to try to go for the attack because Norfolk Blue goes defensive and very early on the brakes is going to allow Maverick to swoop on the outside, which gives him the inside of the next corner. Job done for Maverick, unless Norfolk has anything to say up the inside. No, he doesn't. We have a yellow flag because we've had a big accident in the background, and that's Callum Spencer being spun around. An early lap victim. I think he came into contact with the two Toro Rosso boys, but other than Callum Spencer, a reasonably clean start, Bell.
Yeah, I was focusing at the back of the grid, and as you mentioned, Callum got in a tangle with the two Toro Rossos after being squeezed by Ragnar on the apex of that chicane before the hairpin. So maybe a bit of a fault there from Ragnar not looking enough into his mirrors, but the battle between the two Toro Rossos is thrilling, and Nibbler is taking benefit from that, because with a bigger team, Red Bull is now trying to make a double overtake.
Almost gets it done on the both of them, but lets Daffyd get away. Daffyd leads now. Now the Red Bull will split the two Toro Rossos. Galactic Skull 2 won't be happy that he is the Toro Rosso that fell out on that one. But there you go. Norfolk has lost 5 positions from his starting position. So really a tough start for the man who could have taken one last podium here today. Just didn't come to fruits for him. But he's got another 27 laps to rectify that. And anything can happen, of course. Safety cars could happen if there's a big enough crash. There's pit stops. There's a lot of things to consider. So it's not all over for Norfolk, but it's just become a lot harder than it originally was. Closest battle on track right now appears to be the battle between Blizzard and xxkillshotzxx at 0.2 of a second. We have Nibbler coming into the pits then. So did Nibbler take damage? We'll watch eagerly on board with this onboard camera and see if that is indeed a front nose change for the Red Bull. Is it going to be? Yes, it is. So Nibbler picked off damage on there, goes on to the Ultra Sauce, and the man who opted not to qualify would have expected a little bit of a calmer start being at the back of the grid, but it has worked out the complete opposite way to that, Bell.
Yeah, he bet on the soft tires. Usually when you start with the harder compound, you maybe want to take it easy at the start, make no mistakes, make sure you do not damage the car, because you know your race comes later, so you're just gonna play it safe through the first few laps. He probably was involved in a collision he didn't mean to, so probably not his fault. Quite unfortunate, because now with just one lap completed, he's at the very back of the grid. His tire strategy is compromised, and he's now lost like 23 seconds to the very car in front. But yeah, KB maintained the lead. Blizzard is in P2, Cliffy P3. They're quite spread out at the moment. We know this track is probably not the best for closing cars closely, following car closely, sorry. And but we have quite a couple of decent overtaking spots. I'm thinking of the two chicanes, the two big braking after the back straights with DRS as well. So it is possible to overtake, but it's probably not that easy to follow the cars in front. We see the pack is quite spread out at the moment, but we have Ragnar trailing Norfolk. Norfolk, as you mentioned, quite a torrid start of the race and dropped 5 positions.
Yeah, I'm not sure we missed what happened to Norfolk, but it looks like he might have had an incident somewhere. I've been keeping my eye on the Force India battle of Ollie Flavel and Anil Tanovic as well, just to make sure they don't give us too accurate a representation of Perez and Ocon, and hopefully we don't see these two come together in that style. Norfolk following that trend very closely, got a very big tank slapper in the final sector, but as you say, Abu Dhabi is a very interesting circuit because on paper, as it's mentioned so many times, it looks like realistically it should be a very good overtaking track. You've got huge straights into chicanes, huge straights into heavy braking zones, hairpins. Theoretically, it should be a very good overtaking track, but the dirty air generated by these cars, and that is a car gone. That's Norfolk Blue has spun. He's got too early on the throttle coming out of the chicane, had just spun across the camera, funnily enough, and into the wall, and he has to 3-point turn, and he will rejoin in P12, and that is not good because that looks like it's for sure definitely a damaged front wing as he wiggles the steering wheel to try and get all that dirt he's just picked up off his tyres, try and get on the move again. But that was a big slide, and that's what happens when you're running no assists and you get on that throttle just a fraction too early, Bill.
Yeah, exactly. Sadly, we have the two Australians at the very back of the pack now. But yeah, as you said, that's the price to pay when you drive with no assist. You can be very fast, but as soon as you lose the car, it's just a matter of a fraction of a second, you know, you just lose it and you're into the wall. And thankfully we have reduced damage, otherwise I believe he would have been missing a wheel on that Ferrari, so good for him. Let's see if he does box. If he has damage, he probably does. He's in the pit now.
Yeah, both him and Callum Spencer into the pits, as well as Galactic Skull 2 goes very wide out of turn 1. So we'll see, does McLaren opt for a new front wing? Yes, he does. So McLaren and Ferrari going for those new front wings. As you can watch the bright orange car and the bright red car in the background get a service, and away they will go again. What a nightmare start for these two at the back of the grid. Meanwhile, Blizzard has actually started closing in on KB Killzone once again. He let him go and the gap expanded over a second, but Blizzard has now just brought the gap back under a second and has DRS for, I believe, the first time this race. So Blizzard trying to match and overcome that pace. And look how much time he gained in the DRS zone. He gained over 3/10 in the DRS zone, showing maybe a potential difference in downforce as well for these guys, because it seems KB Killzone is stronger in the corners, whereas Blizzard is a lot stronger in the straight lines. You can see just through that the chicane complex that Blizzard actually lost them 3/10 again immediately. But the important thing as well, Val, Liffey is still extremely in the pit stop territory. He's keeping within 2 seconds of these guys, and he's on the first man on the alternate strategy, as Ollie Flavel has found himself on the back of one Mercedes of the second place man Chazza, looking to sell a move on the experienced man. Speaking of alternate strategies, the man who loves the alternate strategy is finding his tyres to be a little bit slower than the Ultra Softs, and that's seeing him gobbled up by the Mercedes customer car of Force India, Bill.
Our leading duo, they know each other, they're good friends, and they have been playing pretty smart. They didn't slow each other down, they didn't fight in the start, they just made sure to pull away a little bit from the cars behind, especially Maverick, who is on the ultra soft tires, but also as you mentioned, Flippy and Chazza, they're both on the super softs. They're very fast, so they made sure not to lose time fighting each other. They just filled a little gap, and only now this Blizzard is starting to push probably a bit harder, maybe trying to pressurize KB in the lead. But these guys, they know what they are doing. They're very smart drivers, very clever racers. So yeah, it's gonna be a battle of nerves at the front, and also tire strategy is gonna play a part in the battle for the win, because of the top 5 cars, we have 3 on our ultra soft tires and 2 on the super softs. So they're gonna obviously race longer, stay on track longer, and probably try something different at the end of the race. So yeah, it's gonna be something to look for. Mind games, but also tire strategy. We're gonna have a trading battle at the front, and finally, as I said before, a dry race. So we can keep track of all the tire changes, all the pit stop. It's gonna make sense for us finally.
Yeah, of course, and we have a yellow flag in Sector 3, and that is because Ragnar has had a spin, almost reverses across the nose of Dapid, and now finds himself under pressure from a Toro Rosso very quickly. And in the case, it looks like I'm just getting on that throttle too early. See how hard he'll fight Colin McCall, so that'll give us an indication of his damage, and he just goes straight off. And straight across the track again, to get back to the pit lane. So a spin for Ragnar sees damage, and he opts to pit and get that damage repaired as he gets a 5-second stop go for speeding into the pit lane, just to add a little bit of salt into the wound on that one. But look at xxkillshotzxx absolutely marching away from Blizzard. Blizzard started an offensive, brought it back into 1 second, but all of a sudden xxkillshotzxx has responded and absolutely drove away. All meanwhile, Cliffy has got under 2 seconds on Blizzard. So is Blizzard having a little bit of issues? Is he having some graining potentially? Is his tyre life beginning to dwindle because he's losing time to both xxkillshotzxx and Cliffy? Finds himself in a little bit of a sandwich that he needs to get himself out of, because Cliffy can go longer on these super soft tyres. How much longer? We're not sure, but we're pretty sure that he's going to be comfortable in overcutting them if he can keep within at least, I'd say, minimum 2 seconds is absolutely golden for Cliffy. Staying within a 2 second gap means he can easily overcut them if he has the pace to do so. However, he's in 2 seconds and now almost 1.5 away from Blizzard. So Blizzard's struggling just a little bit now, and it's the closest gap right now is Ollie Flavel still trying to close in on Chazza, but whenever he gets close, he just seems to lose the rear end, and I'm not sure if that is an effect of turbulent air from that Mercedes, but he can close in, but just can't get himself close enough to pass. A little bit of a more spread out race than we've seen in recent races, so we got a little time to just relax, take things slow, and discuss any potential things, maybe concerning the championship, but of course not actually in the race, just to fill these gaps. So we'll do that, discussing some of the tight. We've still got a lot of battles for the championship still ongoing that we mentioned. The main one is for third place. That's between JD7, Maverick, and Norfolk. JD7 is not attending today, so he will not score any points. 10 points needed by Maverick to overtake him. Actually, no, more than 10 points, sorry. It's 10 points Norfolk needs to overtake Maverick. Maverick will need roughly about 15 points to overtake JD. He's in P4 at the moment, so that won't be enough, and it will just save JD, but he'll be happy that he's able to defend from Norfolk, because Norfolk needs to finish 5th or better to overtake Maverick, and it doesn't look like that's possible for him at the moment, though.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those drivers, they are still, as you said, is still fighting for championship position, so they're just not gonna be out there for a Sunday drive. They're gonna push really hard. A shame JD is not in the track. Obviously, the guy has been dominating the first half of the season with like 5 victories, and yeah, he really didn't show much in the recent races. I mean, he retired from both races in Mexico and Brazil, didn't show up in Austin, but yeah, the guy is a really strong driver, and we wish he's gonna come back for next season. And because with drivers like Blizzard and Cliffy joining from the very beginning of the season, it could be a trading championship fight once again. And then from year after year, you know, cars are different. Maybe the handling and physics of the car is different as well. What just happened, Toby?
Sorry to cut you off, Val, but Blizzard is losing lots of time in Cliffy. And Cliffy, pretty much, Jade, if you remember, can cast your mind back to Alonso going over them curbs and that huge thing, and got a huge tank slap that almost spun the car, as how much he's closing in on Cliffy. But that was almost a very big moment and potentially race ending for Cliffy. Luckily he held on to it, but their battle is underway once again, and somehow Chazza has closed into 0.2 of a second on Maverick and is now going to go up the inside into the chicane, actually. So Maverick making a huge mistake there and losing a lot of time to Chazza, and Chazza's up into P4 as Callum Spencer picks up a penalty. But time to keep our eye on Cliffy, I believe, Val.
Yeah, looks like the ultra soft drivers are starting to struggle a bit with tire wear, and Maverick is making a move on xxkillshotzxx, is taking back his position. Brilliant move in the second DRS zone. We have seen that's happening so many times in real life as well. That you overtake a car in the first DRS zone and then you get overtaken back in the second. So it's probably wiser to just use the first DRS zone to get closer and closer and then make the move stick at the second DRS zone. Otherwise, you can see what just happened. xxkillshotzxx overtook Maverick in the first zone and Maverick overtook him back in the second zone. Maverick is now gonna head into the pit, so as I just said, the older software probably ran out of grip, and we have a Force India in the pit as well, that's solid level. And but Cliffy is now right in the back of the Ferrari of Blizzard. Is gonna try a dive on the inside probably, not this time. He's gonna probably take it the slipstream on the straight and overtake him at the chicane. Let's see if he plays smart and overtake the second DRS zone, or if he wants to try and have a go as soon as possible into the very first braking. Let's see, he now takes the slipstream, DRS open, and let's see the speed difference, because yeah, you see Blizzard goes defended on the inside, and Cliffy takes the outside, makes the move, and the position is his. And let's see if the Ferrari can respond. It should have DRS right now, but Cliff is gonna defend the inside. And by the looks of things, oh, we have a yellow flag. Someone crashed.
It's Red Bull, I believe that is Nibbler in the wall, and he's lost a big chunk of his front wing, so he's had a spin there somewhere. But what a battle we've got going on between Cliffy and Blizzard right now, side by side through that camera. Phenomenal defense by Cliffy to stop that reattempt overtake by Blizzard. Great battling. And Cliffy on the super soft tyres is up into P2 and making strides on that tyre wear.
And Berkeley maneuvers as well. Those drivers are really front runners, top racecraft, and yeah, you see that's the way to battle, giving space, respecting each other. Whether you are into the straight with DRS or into the corners, they didn't touch, they didn't crash each other out. So that's for everyone to learn, especially the younger drivers. You know, that's the way to do battles. And obviously, by the look of things, Blizzard is struggling a bit with the tires, and we had KB in the pit as well. So yeah, the ultra soft are definitely gone by lap 10, and Cliffy with the super soft tires is now leading the race.
Yeah, just keeping my eye on the likes of Galactic Skull 2, Norfolk and Ragnar as well. Them guys just had a massive trio battle going on into the second chicane. It all seems to have sorted itself out with Ragnar coming out on top on that one as Norfolk Blue got a little bit loose, and Altanovic now comes out of the pit lane after serving his stop on the soft tyres. It's not going to be close between him and Carl Spencer. He's pretty clear on that one. Ollie Plavel trying to chase down I believe that's Maverick at the moment. Yes, it is the Red Bull and Maverick. He has DRS, but how much will he be able to close for the second DRS zone? He's a long way back. He can close a lot on the braking. He can potentially have a crack in the second DRS zone, so we'll have a look and see what Ollie Plavel has up his sleeve, but he's going to have to do it from a long way back because he's not right up the rear of that Red Bull just yet. The Red Bull has a little bit of distance to separate him from Ollie Plavel, but how dare will the Force India be? No, he will not. The Force India decides to save it for another day, and he's pretty much got no overtaking opportunities in this third sector. So he's a little bit out of luck for that one. His next opportunity will be into turn 1. Blizzard finally responds with a pit stop, and I feel that might have been just a little bit too late and could cost him because he was out there clearly struggling with how much time he lost. But he's in the pits now, and now it's Cliffy leading from Chazza with a net first place for KB Killzone. KB Killzone easily passed. Look how much time he's lost more. He was 3 seconds behind KB Killzone. So we'll have to see how far the gap is when he comes out. KB Killzone is clear past the pit lane now, and Blizzard only just leaving the tunnel. So look at that, almost 7 seconds. Yeah, oh wow, so 7 seconds is the gap now between him and KB Killzone. There's a massive amounts of time lost by Blizzard just by staying out. He's lost 4 seconds by staying out a lap on overcooked tyres, well.
Yeah, he lost a lot of time. Now, just focusing quickly back to Ollie Plavel, is gonna probably make a move on Maverick this lap. He obviously has quicker tire, we believe, although he might have some tire wear at this stage of the race. A lot of drivers going on the soft tires. They surely want to finish the race on that set of tires, but there you go, Holy Flavel making a move on the inside. Late brake, really late brake actually, going deep into the corner, but got the position. Wow, Maverick tries to respond on the outside. Holy Flavel gives a bit of a squeeze and maintain the position for the time being. Maverick's gonna try with DRS, but Ollie covers the inside. Maverick has to go around the outside, late brake, off the track. He tried a bit too hard, and yeah, the forcing they got the position. Maverick tried to put up a defense and resist and overtake back, but didn't succeed. So P6 for Ollie, P7 for Maverick, and now Norfolk had just overtaken Ragnar at the very same spot where Maverick was attempting a defense, but Norfolk just went deep into the chicane. Ragnar is just trying to trail the Ferrari, but the Ferrari should be a bit faster, should pull away pretty easily. Although he's losing the back end of the car, he's probably going full throttle on those corners, and without assist, without traction control, he's just lighting up the rear pretty much. And but yeah, he's disappearing into the distance. Ragnar doesn't have the pace to keep up with Norfolk. And just a quick mention to Nib, unfortunately he's in last place, 29 seconds behind P12 Galactic Skull 2, and having quite a torrid race today.
Somewhere during all of that, Maverick has found himself passing Ollie Flavel once again. So Ollie Flavel in the Force India has to do it all again. Meanwhile, Maverick on the offensive on Daffy in the Sister Toro Rosso. We have a yellow flag in Sector 1, and that is Callum J. Spencer. No! Callum J. Spencer's 100% finishing record ends in his final NORL race. And that is the safety car deployed, and that is a heart-wrenching way to lose your 100% finishing record. I don't know what happened. Hopefully someone can get on the case and find that out. But he had finished every race he had entered until today, Val, and that is heartbreaking as we find ourselves under safety car.
That's a huge shame. One of the most consistent drivers in the field, very clean, very respectful, and as you said, 100% race finishing record so far. 2 seasons he did in NRL Formula 1, and he finished all the races, every single race up today. Big shame, not the way he wanted to round off his Formula 1 career in NRL. But yeah, you know, that's racing, those things happen. We can blame him for that. Just really unfortunate, and we have a safety car at last. I mean, we had huge crashes in past races, also with the rain, and yeah, today we have a safety car because it has been a while since we last had a safety car.
Yeah, it's pretty big for the race as well, because effectively Cliffy and Chazza have just got a free pit stop, Val, so they'll find themselves right behind the people they're battling on that alternate tyre strategy battle. Daffy, Ollie and Anil and Norfolk will pick up another free pit stop as well, but a free pit stop and much younger tyres for Cliffy and Chazza, so that one's going to be interesting on the restart.
Very true. Forcing is doing a double pit stop, serving both Ollie Flavel and Anil Tanovic, and a lot of drivers going on the every driver, I have to say, going on the soft tyres. They want to have fresh tyres to go to the very end of the race. They want to be sure to be able to push hard, not worry about tire degradation. We just have Ragnar on the super soft, and we have Anil in the pits. He's rejoining on super soft tires, so we're just doing the opposite to what I was saying before. Nib approaching his pit crew now. Let's see which tire he's gonna get on. Soft tires. So yeah, only Anil and Ragnar on the super soft tires, and but the battle for the lead is gonna be thrilling now, because we're gonna have KB, Blizzard, Cliffy, Chazza, Maverick all packed up together, and all those 5 drivers have been race winners so far, and they have terrific pace. They're very clean, they're very respectful, they're the class of the field really. So to have a dry race with all those cars bunched up together, fighting for position, fighting for the race win, I can think of a better way to finish the season, Toby.
Yeah, it's saving grace for Nibbler as well. He was almost 30 seconds off the lead, but unfortunately He's had a bit of a rough race today, but it's a saving grace. He's back in the race once again, but at the expense of Callum Spencer. He'll find himself back competing, but that's a real shame for Callum Spencer, as his day is done, his career is done, and that is 100% finishing record out of the window, and that's going to be really painful for him to do it in his final race too. We think it's his final race. He's been suggesting quite aggressively that this will be his final time out in NORL, but maybe we know how good Val is. He's got a silver tongue. Maybe Val will be able to convince him to stay. We'll have to see. But under safety car, it is KB Killzone leading from Blizzard. Both of them pitted quite early on, though, remember, from the Ultra Softs, and have been on the soft tyres for a little while, whereas Cliffy and Chaz are behind them. Have had a free pit stop. Maverick up in the mix as well. Dapid, pretty much everybody got a free pit stop other than the top two. So the top two are going to be on quite worn tyres compared to everybody else, so that will play dividends. If everyone here is planning to go to the end, I know the super soft drivers probably won't make it, but if all the soft runners are trying to go to the end, it is advantage Cliffy at this point. Maybe even be advantage Chazza if he gets the restart he wanted, the restart he wants, and is able to hang with them, but such a shame. But I mean, in other ways, it spiced the race up for us, a safety car, so there's the silver lining in losing Callum Spencer from the running. It's brought Nibbler back into the race. The man who was 26 seconds off the next car is now finding himself closing up. He's actually driving, like it's a Sunday drive, just conserving that fuel. There's no rush to get back up there. We don't actually get to find out. I'm not sure if we find out when the safety car comes in. I believe we just get the safety car in this lap at the same time as the drivers do. So it could be the end of this lap, could be the end of next lap. But Nibbler needs to get a move on and catch up to the back of his train, because he's still just chilling around, enjoying the sights and sounds of the Abu Dhabi venue, taking a little bit of time to sightsee. You don't really get time to look at the views when you're racing these cars, but especially when you're commentating like us, Val. The lovely marina there, this lovely building with all these amazing lights on it as the cars go through. We get a very good camera angle through there a lot of the time when we get to say that. And Callum J. Spencer's seen enough, and he is out of the session, but looks like it could be another lap of safety car potentially. It is going to be another lap.
Safety car lights still on, so we're going to have another safety car lap. Wow, KB almost overtaking the
Cliffy into the pits. Sorry to put that out, but Cliffy's back into the pits, and he has a penalty too. Why is Cliffy pitting? That penalty is really going to hurt. Why is a lot of guys pitting again? Galactic Skull 2 opts to pit once again. They're switching back.
Yeah, they're probably going to switch to super soft now. Just fuel ups on the safety car. They probably think a super soft tires could last the distance until the end of the race. Previous lap we had Oli Flavlet and Ragnar pitting for new super softs. So they're probably going to try the very same strategy, but with Cliffy picked up a penalty, so that's a major setback for his race. It's interesting. Probably Callum did sacrifice himself to give us a thrilling second half of the race. I'm not sure, but that's looked to be the case. Now it's going to be interesting to see what Cliffy can do from P11. It's quite strange he decided to pit. He was on the same tires as the other leaders, maybe had a good track position. Now he's gonna have to overtake so many cars and serve a penalty at the end of the race. That could really be his chances of winning the race gone out of the window.
Yeah, he had the advantage, so that's really bizarre that he's opted to do that. Now I'd say the man with the biggest advantage is Chazza up in P3. Gonna have to try to do something there. No pressure on his shoulders, but I'm sure he wants to get in there and see what he can do. But very, very interesting. And it seems that Cliffy tried to overtake cars to get into the pit lane, and the game didn't like that and penalised him for it. But I think Galactic Skull 2 knows just how good Cliffy is with these kind of balls. And I think Galactic Skull said, you know what, I'll have a piece of that, why not? I mean, only two people are not going to score points here today, so why not follow the man who's almost guaranteed to get himself back into the points? It's a good idea from Colin to try take a little bit of look at the Irish from Cliffy, try hope some of that rubs off on him. Safety car's peeled off. KB Killzone is controlling the pace, so we will get ready. to go racing once again. You can enjoy the peace and quiet because soon enough you are going to hear the sound of screaming V6 turbos get going once again. And will there be a clean race start? Here goes KB Killzone. He's decided now is the time to jump. And he's actually been caught out a little bit by Blizzard there. Blizzard almost was able to make the move. Caught napping a little bit, the Irishman. And look at Blizzard, very aggressive on this restart, trying to get past KB Killzone. We go racing once again in Abu Dhabi after a safety car. And all we come into, thundering into turn 1. Does anyone got the move going into turn 1? No, but nobody does. We're all single file for the time being. Everyone's punched up. Once again, the advantage Chazza in terms of tyre life right now. We'll have to keep an eye on Cliffy's progress because, of course, he's got a lot of work to do. Dapper picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Blizzard, look at this. Norfolk Blue swerving around in the background. A lot of lock-up smoke. Almost hits Daffyd. Going up the inside. He tried to dummy in, but now he's going to go up the inside of the hairpin. Goes Norfolk Blue. Job done. Or is it? Because Daffyd trying to hold that on the outside, and you can see in the background as well, Ragnar trying to make a move on Anil Tanovic once again. We go thundering down the straight. We have Cliffy trying to make his first move on Nibbler. Job done. First move gain for Cliffy. We've got Anil Tanovic making a move on Daffyd now as well. Gets the move done around the outside, but Daffyd comes back from a long way back to try poke his nose at the inside. That compromises him in a little bit against Ragnar. Ragnar has to check up or risk losing his front wing. That's going to allow Ollie Flavel to have a little bit of a go. And we rush into the chicane for the second time. And this is the battle we've been waiting for. Everyone nice and close together. Ollie Flavel on the inside. Ragnar on the outside. Who's got the width there? Big contact. Ollie Flavel hits. And it's just a chain reaction. Around goes Anil Tanovic. Ollie Flavel debates whether he should wait for his teammate after that. Chooses not to. And a big accident caused by too many cars going into a single foul corner, Val.
And Cliffy says thank you very much. He just gained 4th position in one single corner. I was riding on board with him. I could see all that unfold in front of my very eyes, and I can see that driver jumping in his seat. He just gone up to P6 with super soft tires. It cleared the drivers that were clearly slower than him, and now can go up chasing the drivers who has a similar pace to him. I'm speaking of Norfolk in P5, and more importantly top 4. All the cars he has in front now, here on a slower tyre. So if Cliffy can manage to save with the tyre life in his super softs, he could stand a strong chance to win the race, although it has a 5-second time penalty, I believe. Yeah, that's something that really helped this race. And now Blizzard is trying to take the slipstream from the Haas of KB Killzone. Let's see if he's gonna try and move in this chicane. Probably it's a bit too far. He's gonna try and make a move at the next, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I was just keeping my eye on the Toro Rosso battle as well. The Toro Rossos have been going quite hard on this first part of the lap, and Galactic Gold 2 looks like he's passed up the inside on his teammate Great F and Toro Rosso. Actually, no, because Daffyd gets to move back once again, and the switchback will now come from Galactic Skull 2, and it's almost a free abreast situation as Ollie Flavel tries to get a little bit involved as well. Oh no, we're not going to see a carbon copy of the last lap, are we? Because almost free abreast, we go into the chicane once again. Galactic Skull 2 pulls ahead as he gets latest of the late breakers, and Ollie Flavel tries to get the move done on Daffyd. Daffyd very determined to keep that Force India behind him. Great defense by Daffyd, loses a position to his teammate, but refuses to lose one to the Force India. Almost free abreast into that chicane. These guys are getting very brave in their fight against each other, but yeah, great stuff from Cliffy to really seize the opportunity there and manage to get himself up into P6. That's going to help him, and I think that's going to make KB Killzone and Blizzard a little bit nervous, but I wonder if they won't be sure about that penalty. Ollie Flavel going around the outside of Daffyd. Surely not. That's one hell of a move if he can do it. Looks to go around the outside. No, pulls back. Tries to get the switchback instead. Gets the switchback side by side. The battle for the final point goes into turn 1 once again. Ollie Flavel on the outside. Daffyd on the inside. Banging wheels. Hand of rage up from Daffyd. Forces Ollie Flavel off the track. Ollie Flavel comes back onto the circuit, but has to sit down and get back past Daffyd once again. Where's he going to do it? Because this is getting a little bit red misty, because here goes Ollie Flavel around the outside. No, tries to go for the switchback, and we've got a safety car deployed, and I'm not sure for what reason. Perhaps some debris on the circuit somewhere, but a safety car has been deployed and the racing shuts down once again.
Wow, we could pretend there is a man riding on the circuit because I cannot see a clear reason for the safety car being deployed. Not sure. Just checking through the field, but I cannot see anything. I can see a piece of front wing missing from Ragnar's Renault, but Otherwise, no clear indication why we have a safety car again. After getting no safety car for the last like 4 or 5 races when we had big incident, now we get a second safety car for apparently no reason. But okay, we're gonna take it. We're gonna see the pack being bunched up again, and hopefully we're gonna have another exciting restart as we just had it. And Cliff is gonna say thank you very much once again, because you now see the gap reduced from the top 5 cars, and he still has quicker tire. So he was posting purple lap after
Maybe Killzone Blizzard into the pits.
Wow,
They're trying to respond to Cliffy.
Yeah, they're copying his very strategy. They're gonna probably switch to the super softs, but now Cliffy is gonna have a terrific advantage.
Ultrasofts going on both cars. This is interesting. Cliffy has the lead, but a 5-second penalty.
The Ferrari, sorry Toby, the Ferrari had the double stacks of Norfolk, I believe. Yeah, Norfolk had to lose a lot of time because he got stuck behind Blizzard.
Literally every car apart from the top 2 is in the pits, and it's such a busy pit lane you would not believe. And Jan Oltanovic, Ollie Flavel do a double stack once again, and look how much time that's cost as they have to get the guys back out to service Jan Oltanovic's car. Everyone going on to ultra-soft tyres. They do have 11 laps to complete. This is very interesting. Sorry, no, they have 9 laps to complete, so it's pretty much ultra-soft territory. And just judging by the style of Cliffy, look how Cliffy's driving. He's revving the car on a whole new level, which says to me, perhaps trying to burn a little bit of fuel on that. Yes, he has almost 2.5 laps of spare fuel, and he's trying to burn a little bit off during this safety car phase. We're just trying to get the tyre. There we go. The only cars left on super soft tyres then are Cliffy and Norfolk out on there. So Cliffy has the world against him now, but it's Galactic Skull 2 behind Cliffy, and KB Killzone has to clear the Scotsman before he can go after Cliffy. So does Blizzard as well. So Galactic Skull 2 could run a little bit of interference here, though.
Wow, yeah, you mentioned that Galactic Skull was mirroring the strategy from Cliffy, and yeah, he's having the race of his life, being P2 behind a very fast driver and ahead of very fast drivers. So he's probably gonna be in not so much familiar territory concerning Formula 1, but I'm sure he's gonna enjoy his time there up the front. And his tires are relatively new, but of course, as you mentioned, everyone pitted for ultra soft tires, which does make sense because we just have less than 10 laps to go. So yeah, Cliffy, he has track position, but with a slower tire, with that time penalty, things are not looking very good for him. He's gonna have to defend from very fast car. Probably you can use the Toro Rosso as a buffer to, gain a bit of time at the restart as KB and Blizzard and Chaza try to overtake Galactic Skull. But yeah, it's gonna be very hard for the Williams to build a significant gap to serve the time penalty at the end of the race without losing position, especially considering the cars behind us got brand new ultra soft tires. So yeah, probably Cliff is out of the equation, but KB, Blizzard, Chaza, and Maverick, they are all playing for the race win.
Dream situation for Cliffy would be KB Killzone gets into a fight with Galactic Skull 2, which allows Blizzard to get into a fight with KB Killzone, and he's going to hope that these guys are all going to battle to allow him to get away, but just you can sense the tension in KB Killzone's cockpit. Have you noticed over the course of this safety car lap, he's been looking, going up the inside and things of Galactic Skull 2, just trying to psych the Toro Rosso out before we get racing once again, say, hey mate, I'm coming for you and you better get out of the way. But like you say, the last race, look, here he goes again, trying to psych the Toro Rosso out by getting alongside him, just trying to put the spikes and the scare on the Scotsman. But we know Scottish people aren't frightened off the road very easily, so we'll be interested in that one to see how it goes. But of course, it's the end of the season, all is said and done, everyone's just here for a bit of fun. Galactic Skull 2 could possibly take, I mean, we've seen stranger things happen, Val, but Galactic Skull 2 could take his first podium in the same way Week has taken his first win. Took his first podium in the F1 series, sorry. But he took his first win in the NORL series. Why not his first F1 podium as well? I'm sure he'll fight his absolute heart out, and that's what Cliffy is banking on.
Yeah, I mean, he has been really dominant in the Formula C race. I mean, I was there on the track with him. I was the one fighting him for that very race win. So I can tell you, he was very fast on that track last week on Wednesday when we were racing in Alton Park. It was very fast, but yeah, I don't know if we can keep those cars behind today, to be fair. But it's restart time, I believe. The safety car is heading into the pit lane.
Here we go once again. Cliffy decides to get the jump, and look how much KB Killzone wants to get up the inside of Galactic Skull 2 immediately. The job is done in the first corner. But Galactic Skull 2 actually coming back, and that's allowed Blizzard to get past KB Killzone. Look at the little Scotsman fighting his heart out. Now KB Killzone gets tagged with Blizzard, and Galactic Skull 2 tries to go around the outside of Blizzard. No room to do it. Hey, contact! Huge contact, and he spins out, and we've got a multiple chain reaction. We've got Maverick off, Norfolk off, Galactic Skull 2 off, and he just tried to fight, fought too hard, and off the circuit he goes, collecting some cars with him. But really quick, a man who started last is up in P4. Niblo is up into P4. Fantastic stuff. But Galactic Skull 2 just went from hero to zero in the space of a couple of corners, Val.
Wow, I didn't want to jinx it when I said he was probably not gonna keep the podium position, but you saw KB tried to make a move at the last corner. He probably overtook the Toro Rosso too early, so he got an illegal overtake. He had to let him through again, but Blizzard took the chance to jump them both. And then we had chain reaction, cars hitting each other, cars picking up penalties. We got KB picking up a 3-second time penalty as well. So that could really be a factor. Wow, there is a Force India crashing out. That's Anil. He hit the barrier. Wow.
Big
My goodness, he was fighting with another car and just went off the track a little bit. That corner is really hard because it goes downhill as soon as you head off the track over the curb. You just get sucked into the barrier. He lost a wheel there. And Anil Tanovic is another man that has been really consistent. This season he has retired 2 times, but I can remember last year Anil and Callum were 2 drivers finishing every single race, so that's not the case today.
Look at Chazza going after Nibbler, absolute bumper-to-bumper stuff. And he now tries to go around the outside into the very early corner. He's going to brake very, very late. Try to go all the way around the outside, which gives him the inside for the next corner. Good move by Chazza. Squeezes Nibbler out to make sure he can't come back on that one. Ragnar is another big gainer on that restart. Oh, I say that! And he gets tagged by the Force India of Ollie Flavel. And around he goes, back to the back of the grid, other than Galactic Skull 2. But that, I was riding on board with Ragnar, and we did hear a little thump. So that was contact between him and Ollie Flavel that put him around. And just as we said he was a big gainer, it's all gone again, Val.
We're jinxing them, Toby.
Their commentator's curse.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Ragnar gave a little bit of a tap at to Chazza the previous lap at the airpin. Chazza got sideways. I thought he was almost going to spin, but he catch the car, correct the slide, and kept the position. But now Ragnar, yeah, has dropped to the very back of the field. Has got front wing damage as well, missing the right hand plate. Sad for him because he has been having a tough season this year. Now picks up a time penalty as well. Of course, 2012 champion. I know this driver is really fast. Unfortunately, sometimes makes mistake. But in the Project Cars Formula C Championship, we were mentioning before, is up there with me fighting for the championship and for race wins. So he's a very good driver. He's having a torrid season this year, but that doesn't mean he's a good driver. He knows how to drive those cars. He's just having a bad year overall. Is now in the pits, but the battle for the lead is really hot enough, Toby.
Yeah, I'm watching that. It's absolutely crazy. 3 cars are pushing each other along the circuit, and there goes Blizzard. Late move up the inside for the hairpin, tries to catch the Williams napping. The Williams just sees it coming and opens the door so there isn't an accident, but he will retain that position. But I'm sure DRS is going to come into play now. We've got another safety car, and the racing, just as it starts to spark up, calms down again, and this is very reminiscent of a safety car glitch we had I believe it was in F1 2016 NORL, Val, at Russia, something like this. It just seems to be infinite safety cars for no reason. There's nothing we can do about this. We're not controlling the safety cars. This is a Codemasters item that we seem to be experiencing the glitch, and it is chopping up the racing quite significantly. And we can only apologise on behalf of Codemasters for what is going on here. The safety car out once again, just as the top three were about to get good and spicy too.
Cliffy has pressed the start button, I believe. The AI is in control of his car. It was, oh, now it's back in control. Battle for the lead of the race. Cliffy is obviously saying thank you very much, but he still has those 5-second time penalty. So even if the race finishes behind the safety car, he's not going to win it because he's going to drop 5 seconds back, and probably the safety car bunching up the back would not help him either because he's going to lose all time.
I think Blizzard is in the hot seat to win this race, isn't he? Because KB Killzone also has a 3-second time penalty. But however, I've just been taking a look in the chat off camera there, and Anil showing his displeasure, not very happy, claims that someone rammed into him and didn't brake, and that's what caused him to DNF. Norfolk complaining of some driving standards too, and we've just received an announcement in that chat that F1 2018 will be the final season of NORL for Kevin Jacobs. He plans to retire at the end of next season. So one more season of glory potentially for the American, but the Haas driver not attending the final, plans to make that his farewell season. And that's a little bit of news we can talk about while we get through this seemingly pointless safety car that Codemasters have so lovely, been so lovely of them to gift to us. But a farewell season planned for Kevin Jacobs, who's not attending today, Val.
Yeah, he's been having quite a difficult season this year. It's been scoring 0.3 times, so pretty good improvement from last year, but still not the level he wants. But he joined the Formula C Championship on Project Cars as well, and he's been really competitive there. So maybe he's gonna quit Formula 1 after 2018, but hopefully we can retain him for the Project Car series because he's a really good driver, very fast, very clean. He's a race driver in real life as well. So, you know, a lot of drivers, like myself, of course, dropping out from the F1 Championship, but still committing to racing Project Cars, of course. Driving simulator, much more realistic, so the cars are probably a bit more fun to drive. And so yeah, that could be the case for him as well. We always try to keep these good drivers in at least one of the series we run. So hopefully that's the case with him as well. But yeah, we're starting lap 25 behind the safety car. So if safety cars pull into the pit lane this lap, we're gonna have basically 3 laps of racing. So it's a really sprint race to the flag. And as you mentioned, Blizzard is in top seat to win this race.
Yep, so that is what your situation is. We have a safety car out once again. Cliffy in the lead, but has a 5-second penalty. KB Killzone in third, but has a 3-second penalty. And a lot of... the funny thing is, if the finishing order was like this with these gaps, Cliffy would finish dead last, and KB Killzone would finish in 10th only. So look at these two battling in the hairpin. I've actually just seen a hand of rage from Blizzard as KB Killzone and Blizzard come together in that hairpin. So interesting stuff going on there. It is pretty wild how many safety cars we've had. We've got Chazza and Blizzard swapping positions. I'm not sure what's going on there. Chazza seems to have overtaken Blizzard as Blizzard slowed down and is actually letting his AI drive. So maybe that's why that has happened. But getting ready for racing once again. It will be a 3-lap sprint, and it'll be an absolute miracle if Cliffy can gain 5 seconds on the pack. It'll be an absolute miracle if KB Killzone can gain 3 seconds on Blizzard.
Did Blizzard drop to P3? Did Blizzard drop to P3?
Blizzard, I believe, was in P2, wasn't he? I'm not sure what KB Killzone's doing.
It was P2. He just pressed I think the option button, AI controlling his car, and lost the.
Yeah, I'm quickly checking the chat now because we've got someone going on there. Yeah, he's Blizzard is complaining of KB passing under the safety car, and the game has not told KB Killzone to return that position.
Same goes to Norfolk and Maverick. They're discussing in the chat whether to swap position at the restart, which is going to happen this lap, by the way, because the safety car is pulling in.
So just another glitch in the Codemaster series, and if you've been a fan of the Codemaster series for as long as we have, you are pretty sure that glitches are... we're more surprised if there isn't any glitches with these games, is the term that we've had for some time now. But here we go for a 3-lap sprint to the finish. And will KB Killzone give that position back to Blizzard? I doubt it, because he has a penalty and wants to run away from him, but no sportsmanship, I don't think, going to happen, because it's 3 laps, 3 final laps of the season. No point, he just fancies to go and run, doesn't he, really? And we've got Maverick gave that position, I believe, back to Norfolk immediately, so more sportsmanship shown up there from those guys. But KB Killzone, obviously, sportsmanship not in his vocabulary on the restart, but look at the run he's got on Cliffy immediately. Is he going to try and go around the outside straight away? Yes, he is. Cliffy tries to be as late on the brakes as he dare. The banging wheels the whole time. Ragnar has been disqualified, I believe, for a second race this season. So I'm not sure what's happened to him on that one, but he's been disqualified, and KB Killzone is into the lead.
Wow. Hectic restart. And now the top 3 are fighting again. That's very good. We picked up from where we left before.
Cliffy!
The safety. Wow, my goodness, Cliffy almost hit KB. Wow, how could he survive that? Wow. And yeah, KB is still in the lead of Blizzard. Blizzard is the one that really wants to overtake them, but he knows he can win this race in penalty. So he probably might want to just sit back and watch the 2 in front of him going battle. But yeah, I don't know. It's very, very close between all those 3 cars, and Blizzard just now goes a bit wide, overtakes the Williams.
What's going on?
Wow.
Problem for Cliffy. The car's in neutral, now in first. I'm not sure what's happening. He might have some software issues or hardware issues. Looks like something has gone wrong in that Williams. We're riding on board, and is this a signal? Is that a signal of giving up for Cliffy? Oh dear. And that's actually, I think, affected Norfolk Blue, as it might be giving him a penalty for yellow flags. But just donuts coming from Cliffy now. That's not good, because he could have fought for a podium, or at least some points, but he seems to have opted to give up. Is he still doing donuts? Yes, he is. We'll take our attention away from him and try to place it on Norfolk Blue and Galactic Skull 2 and Maverick, because look at this, both of them just went around the outside of the Toro Rosso. Great stuff. They're following each other around, they're carving the way through the field like a little duo going on here. Great stuff from Norfolk, the 2 yellow helmets doing a duet around the hairpin now. Norfolk has the inside for the next corner, not going to have it on that occasion. Chazza somewhere has passed Blizzard. Chazza could win this race. If he can keep ahead of Blizzard, Chazza can win the race now. Oh, and he locks up, and Blizzard goes on the inside, but he's gone super wide. Now Chazza around the outside gets squeezed off the circuit, and Blizzard back up into P2. Does not want to sacrifice this win. That's a little bit aggressive from both parties there, I feel. But Ollie Flabble, Nibbler battling straight away. What a drive from Nibbler, by the way. Really doing the business, trying to battle up there. Chazza, Ollie Flabble and Nibbler can still all win this race if they can get past that Ferrari. What's happening to the Ferrari? Seems to be struggling massively for pace at the moment. Got himself a little train forming behind him. Maybe some pressure will be relieved as Ollie Flabble will try to attack Chazza into this section up the inside, and he actually hits Chazza. Almost forces him off the circuit. Nibbler actually hits Ollie Flabble as a check-up kind of. They all checked each other up, and Nibbler up the inside. What a late move, and almost squeezes Ollie Flabble into the wall. Opportunistic to the absolute maximum for Nibbler. Nibbler can sense a race victory here, I think. Something is wrong with Blizzard. He is losing a lot of time to KB Killzone. He can't keep up with KB Killzone, and Chazza is breathing down his neck. But the problem is, KB Killzone is almost 3 seconds away from these guys. Chazza knows he needs to get past Blizzard if he wants a chance at winning, because KB Killzone is driving away, Val.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, those cars fighting each other, they're just doing KB's game, because he's gaining time. He's now 3.5 seconds ahead, so he's clear to win this race now. Blizzard, KB's friend, obviously is fighting hard with Chaza, but he's doing his friend a huge favor there.
Could this be an organised tactic from them too? It wouldn't be the first time we've seen it this season. Maybe trying to give KB Killzone the final race victory, but Chaz is having none of it as he tries to go to the inside, now tries to squeeze. Look at these two, absolutely stuck together like glue. Ollie Flabble might make this a free wide situation in a moment. Look at how defensive Blizzard has to go to stop that from happening. Niblo is watching all this unfold in front of him. Who's going to be the victor going into the chicane? Chaz is on the outside. Ollie Flabble there too. Chaz gets squeezed off the circuit, and Chaz has taken a massive hit and drops down into P5.
Wow, I mean, 4 cars fighting for a position into a very tight corner. That's really, I don't know how they did all survive. A bit of wheel banging, and we had cars off at the back as well. We have Maverick and Daffyd doing battles. And
sorry to cut you off, but Daffyd has just hit Maverick off the circuit on the final lap. Manages to return. Look at this Toro Rosso battle. We're going to cut back to the leader because KB Killzone will win the race. Was it Blizzard parking the bus that got him here? A podium for Ollie Flavel out of nowhere. Nibbler will take P4. Great effort from him to do the work here today. But that battle towards the back of the grid went all the way to the checkered flag. I think Daffyd and Maverick were side by side across the line. But that is your final race of F1 2017 NORL. And what a crazy one it turned out to be in the end, though.
Wow, Chaza will be furious, I'm sure, because he could smell the race win, and he lost so much time fighting with the Ferrari that, and eventually he dropped out of the podium as well. And yeah, I mean, thrilling for us to watch, thrilling for us to commentate. I'm sure all the people watching did enjoy this race because it was a great way to end the season. You know, thrilling race. Also thanks to the safety cars that punched up the field. We had maybe too many safety cars today, but surely provides very much entertainment and so much action. But there it is. KB wins the race.
Did everybody have a penalty? According to my screen, Val, everybody picked up a penalty.
Exactly.
So that... Wow, so even if anyone got past KB Killzone would have won it anyway because everyone somehow picked up a penalty. But that has been it, Val. Another successful season in the books. KB Killzone is your champion, and he takes his final win of the season at the final race of the season. So good effort, but look at that, 13th for 4th to Nibbler. What a great drive by the man who was with us in qualifying. Callum Spencer takes his first DNF of the season. We potentially wave goodbye to a few drivers, but I want to take the time for that to thank you, Val, for another great season. It's been a thrill to commentate, and I'm sure it's been a thrill to watch. It's been nice having you in the box with me the past couple of races. It's been different, but it's been absolutely wild. And that is another successful season down in the history books. And I will let you round off with some words you'd like to say about your lovely and thrilling championship.
Yeah, it has been a great season, great race as well. Great way to finish the season. I can smell some controversy in the chat and after this race, so there might still be something to discuss after this race, but you know, it has been thrilling, it has been great. The job you're doing as well, commentating those races, has been great for me, joining you in the commentary booth those final three rounds of the championship. And this is it. Next year we will be back with F1 2018, 21 races, the longest ever in Formula 1 history, the longest ever calendar. And for us as well at NORL, just doing the very same calendar as in real life. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be thrilling. We're gonna have a lot of drivers being very fast, fighting for the win and for the championship. And but yeah, stay tuned because we're gonna have a lot of news before the season starts with pre-season tests. We're gonna try to look for new drivers. So if you want to join NRL Formula 1. Stay tuned on Twitter, on Facebook, and on our website. You will find all the informations. And yeah, we're going to start pre-season tests late summer on F1 2017 and then on F1 2018 when it comes out before starting our championship, I believe, by the end of September or the beginning of October like we did this year. And so it has been great. It has been great. Hopefully we're going to have more to come in future seasons. And I want to thank you very much, Toby, for the job you have been doing.
I want to thank you for the opportunity, Val. It's been great. So KB Killzone is your champion. He takes home the trophy, and I'm sure that's going to be a lovely addition to his collection. That has been F1 2017 NORL. That's been your final race of the season. KB Killzone wins it. Who will be the one to take the victory this time next season? There's only one way to find out, and that is stay tuned. Until then, that has been Valerio Campagnari, founder of NORL, and my lovely co-commentator. I've been Toby Byrne of GamingNow. That has been NORL F1 2017. Thank you ever so much for watching. And until next time out in Australia, goodbye.